Constellations work was developed over 30 years ago by a man named Bert Hellinger in Germany. Bert was a missionary and a Jesuit for many, many years, for I think about 18 or 19 years, to the Zulus in Africa. And it's my strong feeling that his experience with Zulu shamans strongly informed his work. He doesn't talk about that publicly much, but I feel it when I do the work. And I certainly feel it when I read his writings. Because I've studied shamanic healing practices in different cultures, Native American and other cultures, and especially Australian, because I did research in Australia at one time with Aborigines. And so I feel very strongly that there is a universal shamanic power in this work that you'll find in just about all indigenous cultures. He went back to Europe and left the Jesuit order and the life of a missionary, and he decided to move into the field of psychotherapy. He did a lot of studying and experiential work. He worked with Janoff in primal therapy. He also did a lot of work with family systems based on the work of Virginia Satir. And I'm sure that he studied Jung, although he was not a Jungian analyst, but there's a tremendous influence of Jungian work. And it's interesting that Jung in his lifetime spoke about ancestors, and in some of his writings he wrote that that is an energy and an element that really has not been included. And I want to quote him in Memories, Dreams, and Reflections, his autobiography. He discussed carving the names of his paternal grandparents on 3 stone tablets that were placed in his home in Bollingen. And Bollingen was a retreat that he had where he did a lot of carving of very archetypal images and symbols. If anybody's seen the films about Jung, there is footage of him, and there's footage of Bollingen. And he says, I became aware of the fateful links between me and my ancestors. I feel very strongly that I am under the influence of things or questions that were left incomplete and unanswered by my parents and grandparents and more distant ancestors. It often seems as if there were an impersonal karma within a family, which is passed from parents to children. It has always seemed to me that I had to answer questions which fate had posed to my forefathers and which had not yet been answered, or as if I had to complete or perhaps continue things which previous ages had left unfinished. The cause of disturbance is therefore not to be sought in the personal surroundings, but rather in the collective situation. Psychotherapy has hitherto taken this matter far too little into account. And so I think Jung speaks probably most eloquently for family constellations work, and of course he spent a very long lifetime doing psychotherapy and studying archetypal symbolism and all of that. So this particular quote kind of really opens the door